Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Healing Disclosures. My name is Nicole. I'm your host. I'm so happy you're joining me again today. So my last video was, it was a lot of information, wasn't it? And to live it and to have the realization that the time lapse between being introduced to my ascension guide on Sunday, and then everything that has transpired this week for me to help in ascension is mind-blowing completely. But I am checking in with spirit. I'm checking in with my higher self, source creator, and I really love that connection that my higher frequency has now. And so my information, my path, and my guidance comes directly through my higher self, which is directly from source. So today's video was divinely led, again, like my life lately, and I'm so happy about it. So if you haven't seen the video that I did in collaboration with Kathy, it's titled DNA Activation, I believe. Check that out. We'll put the link to that in the description box of this video because it's kind of an overview of what transpired for me. And from that, I know that it was such a broad consensus view of what happened. I wanted to kind of go back and touch on a few key things and kind of define them, fill in the gaps if I can. This is going to be the first of a few that I do in order to help spread valid, truthful, factual information about what a starseed is. What does that mean if you're a starseed? What does it mean if you're a light worker? Kind of the differences between the two. And we can, I would hope, open up some dialogue because, I mean, I know I had questions. We all have questions, right? And everyone evolves in a different, throughout this whole path, we evolve at our own rate, our own pace. There's no right or wrong way to do it, I guess is the best way to say that. But you should still have very good validated information to go off of. There's a ton of bad information, I would say, poorly sourced information. Prior to this week, I kind of took it at face value as well. So anyway, hopefully this video kind of helps to clear up what some of those terms I used actually mean. Maybe we can take it down a notch as far as, the woo, and realize that this might actually describe some things in your life or some people in your life and kind of help connect some dots for you as well. So I'm going to kind of read through this. There was a lot of information, and along the way, I'll interject my own. I'm going to be speaking from my own experience. That is the only one that I can speak about, is my experience. I can't speak for anyone else, nor do I want to. Everyone's journey is very individual, and I am not here to take that away from anyone. I think it should be embraced and seen as a very positive thing, and everyone still has free will choices. So if you hang in there with me, I think even if this doesn't describe you, it's a lot of good information, especially going forward, because whether anyone believes, embodies this, buys into it or not, the earth ascended and the population of Earth will ascend one way or the other. So things will change, and I would rather, if it were me who had no idea what was going on, I'd rather have some basis of knowledge so that whenever something occurs, you could be like, that Nicole person, she talked about something like this. I wonder if that's what I'm seeing. I think it's a lot less big and scary whenever you have some level of understanding of what's going on, whether this specifically describes you or not. So let's dive in. Starseeds started incarnating on Earth 50 to 60 years ago. They have a mission: increase the Earth's vibrational frequency and consciousness. Starseeds are born with abilities in latent DNA. Some abilities are functional in part prior to DNA activation. The mission to spread light, love, knowledge, and kindness to all of Gaia and her inhabitants. Common traits of starseeds: they are higher vibrational beings, feelings of not fitting in anywhere, longing for home always, often empathetic, talented in ways the people around them don't appreciate. All work is to increase the vibrations of Earth to a higher level so we can ascend. I'm going to pause right there. For me, I can remember when I was a young child, 8, 9, 10, I was always thinking about, what were people in California doing? What was life like for people in Africa? My mind was always going outside of my little community, my little area that I lived in. So even as a teenager, I mentioned before I was on the swim team. Well, I got asked to model some things, and that kind of evolved for a little while. And it was offered to me to go to New York to model for a few weeks during the school year. And I was like, sure, no problem. So my parents actually consented for me to do that. And I think it was 1 week was like a vacation week, and then 2 other weeks of school. Anyway, it was absolutely nothing for me to go with other people, but no family. I was 15 years old, went to New York City. I stayed in the Waldorf Astoria for 3 weeks in like a resident area. I modeled, I did photo shoots. I walked around the city like I had been there forever. I had never been there before. Nobody in my family at that time had been there. My mom's like, you ready to come home? No, I'm gonna stay here. She's like, no, you're coming home. So to the point is, I realized early on that I had what I always called a gypsy soul. I knew I was born and raised in a certain little small town in South Louisiana, but my spirit was comfortable traveling, and I did not need to know people to travel there. And as a nurse, I travel nursed, and I went a lot of places I had never been before. I had no connections there, and it was wonderful. It was free, and I knew how to do my job. The job didn't change, just the surroundings did. And I met so many great people. So I've always had that innate quality, and that is a common quality of starseeds. So where do starseeds come from? Many come from different dimensions and other galaxies. The types of starseeds are named from their star system or planet that they come from. So you have Pleiadians, Sirian, Orion, Arcturian, Andromedan, and Lyran are the most common ones. Each of these systems are invested in helping Earth ascend. Some seeds will come as healers, creative, innovative beings, others as catalysts or guides to help people jump from 3D to 5D, like my guide. They are born with amnesia. Starseeds are born with amnesia. Usually have an event that unlocks and begins to activate their encoded DNA. So some starseeds end up incarnating in not so great families. And sometimes the event that unlocks their DNA and their abilities are traumatic and at the hands of other people. A lot of times that's what saves these souls, because some of the abilities, clairvoyant, claircognizant, clairaudio, they're kind of able to detach from the physical reality and connect spiritually to source creator, angels, guides, spirit teams, and that soul is held, and that soul is elevating their frequency, and they're on a higher dimension. All the while, their physical body is in a very oppressive 3D environment, not really being taken care of. So if you ever heard SRA survivors talk about their experiences, you'll hear some of that related there. So the 6 well-known starseed systems, Pleiades, we hear about the Pleiadians all the time, right? Pleiades constellation. Pleiadian seeds are known to be highly intuitive and empathic and spiritual. The Sirius star is a binary star. You have Sirius A and Sirius B, known to be shy yet creative with trust issues. We can relate. Arcturus star, that'd be mine, are clairvoyant, great planners, builders, organizers, and very good memory. Now, like I said in my prior video, I made a comment, and I don't even remember what the comment was, but my ascension guide commented on my comment and said, "You are obviously 100% Arcturian." And so my energy, even prior to activation, everything about me just screamed Arcturian to him. Laser focused, good planners, highly intelligent, geometry. I'm like, yeah, I aced geometry. And we're going to move on. For Lyran constellation, call Vegas star home. They are independent minded and justice is highly valued. The Orion constellation, most well-known constellation, known to be logical and good, self-disciplined. I always think about Men in Black when they say the galaxy is on Orion's belt, and Orion is the cat that has a collar, and on there it has a planet, and inside the planet is the galaxy, and it was hidden in plain sight, like so much these days. And then Andromeda galaxy, Milky Way's neighbor, known to value freedom, individuality, and in tune with the higher self. So most starseeds are classed by the time frame that they incarnated on Earth. So if you are a starseed and you encounter your ascension guide, what you're going to get told is what system you're from and what class of starseed you are, and basically if you're light or dark. So I've learned that people have no soul because they lost it. They traded it away. Some people just have a dark soul. Some people are of the light, like myself. Some people are false light. So they are of the light, but they're doing things that would lead people to a negative frequency, a lower frequency. Okay, so you have indigo children. Indigo children have an indigo colored aura. They incarnated between the 1950s and 1980s. Their chakra color is related to truth, the sixth chakra, the third eye. Truth, vision, clarity, spirituality, perseverance, and integrity to increase the vibration, stimulate change of toxic cultures and systems, and guided to be protected by Archangel Michael. Crystal children, a continuation of indigos incarnated between the 1980s and early 2000s. Generally children of indigos, this would be my son, has a crystal clear aura, exude old soul persona, live by the law of one, and believe in universal oneness. They lay the foundation of love, compassion, empathy, kindness for new starseed generations. They teach humanity the gift of unconditional love and kindness. They get and give love easily and freely. Crystals have an unusual birthmark. My son actually has a silver, whitish, 2 spots in his hair birthmark, and he is a crystal child, I am happy to say. Rainbow children, the latest wave of starseeds incarnated after the 2000s, some offspring of the second wave, and are from the 9th dimension consciousness. So they come in, their souls come in, if they're 20 and under, they're born free of negative karma, highly evolved, spiritually advanced, and they are born with complete trust in their intuition. So life is a little easier to navigate for them. They're quite psychic, highly creative, and drawn to color, hence the rainbow term. They do also have unusual birthmarks or freckles. Many starseeds have Rh negative blood, which is considered to be karma free. Each starseed mission contributes to a common objective: to assist Earth and its beings in the great ascension process. I'll stop right here and say there's going to be a link in the description box for the ascension glossary. When I encountered my guide, a lot of my questions and a lot of the answers were found in the ascension glossary. I was given links to specific things that I was asking about, but that link is going to be, the main page is going to be in the description box. So help yourself. I recommend navigating that, and you will be highly informed of lots of information. Okay, starseed activation. Our 12 DNA strands need to be activated. That 97% of DNA scientists consider to be junk is what gets activated in starseeds. The catalysts, or the guides, are here on a mission to activate starseeds and guide our awakening and our ascension with specific sessions to aid us in fulfilling our mission. So once you connect with your ascension guide, you have connection forevermore. And my guide ended up being someone very known to my soul, and we have lived many lives together. And there's an affection, but it is just respect and appreciation, gratitude. I do not have a twin flame journey. I do have a high soulmate journey. And my soulmate is my first husband, who died a few months after we were married at 23. And so he is on my starship, and he has been one of my guides ever since. And I really felt that. That was just confirmation from my guide. What is the difference between a starseed and a light worker? So the other day in my video, Kathy asked me, is a starseed and a light worker the same? And I kind of nodded and said yes, and I was halfway right. It's not an all or none kind of thing. So one soul can be both a starseed and a light worker, or they could just be one and not the other. So two types of souls incarnating on Earth from higher dimension to elevate the Earth's vibration. So you have starseed and you have lightworker. Starseed souls come from another planet, a star, a galaxy, or dimension, like I mentioned before. Pleiadians, Sirians, Lyrans, Andromedans, Arcturians, Orions, felines, avians, and reptilians. Lightworker souls originate from above the 3D dimension, and they incarnate from space, a space related to our planet. Their main purpose is to spread light and healing. Lightworkers' energy is light, heart-centered, embedded with love. They forgive quickly, and they're attracted to spiritual and healing work. Some of the differences between the two. So the main difference is the origin and the soul mission. So advanced spiritual path, level of adjustment to Earth, that's a big difference. So light workers adjust to Earth easier than starseeds. Starseeds really feel like, I used the analogy the other day, like an untethered balloon. They're just kind of bouncing around, and they kind of feel good here, and then they, oh, you know what, I feel kind of good over there too. But nothing really feels like home, because home is not on this planet. And the more we ascend, the more the higher our frequency gets, the harder it is to be in the 3D, the more foreign that feels for starseeds. So behaviors and attitudes. Light workers are happy, bright people. Most starseeds are more solitary and have small social circles. A lot of starseeds have a longing for something more, and that stems again from not being with their starseed, their star family, their people. You know, if you were from a baby taken from your soul family and raised in a place that was okay, but you didn't really have a connection to anyone, you'd feel the same way. It's not all that foreign of a concept in my mind, but I am biased. Okay, energy. Starseed vibrations vary according to their life stage. Lightworkers' vibrations are more grounded, although they are higher than 3D Earth. Eyes. Most starseeds have light eye color ranging from light to dark green, blue, or even gray. Now, I don't know if you can actually see my eye color with this ring light. I'm going to change it a little bit and see. So most people say I have gray eyes. I guess they're kind of gray. I know when I cry, they're bright green, and sometimes they're really blue. So I definitely fit that profile. Lots of starseeds will have they will seem that they're deep in thought, that they kind of gaze off in the distance. They seem to be longing for home. Light workers are more positive, joyful gaze, like they're always excited, and they just have a different sense about them. Let's see. The need to help others. Starseeds have a soul mission. So there is a need to help others. It's just a specific mission that they're given. So for me, mine is multifaceted. All of my earthly experience that I've had up to this point in my life, I will use in my star mission. But I sure didn't ever see it coming. And I'm very happy to know what my mission is, because I don't really know. I'm not comfortable not having a plan, because I'm a planner, because I'm Arcturian. But now that I do know, it's very motivating, very, very motivating. It's very calming for me. And I do feel that laser focus. Light workers they just choose their career to help spread the light. So they're usually in spiritual type works. A lot of them are teachers, healers, nurses, that kind of stuff. So another word that I wanted to touch on for a definition, because you'll hear it in multiple different settings, and I don't really think it's understood greatly, is light body. Human energy field, or your aura. That's what is considered your light body. Light body projects our consciousness through holographic template. So depending on your origin and other things that I don't understand yet, you have a template. And that in some levels mitigates the energy. It's comprised of many interwoven layers of electromagnetic frequency that make up your consciousness. Intelligence identifies that function at each dimensional layer. So as you ascend, that frequency changes, it increases, and there's more integration. The light body is the holder of our consciousness. It records and identifies through time. It holds the living light code of our blueprint, structure, and maintains connection and communication with our higher self, the Godhead of Source Creator. So I'm going to just speak a minute about my ascension this week. I started out on Sunday and found out that I was 3D consciousness. I had no shadow, which meant I did not require the need to do shadow work. I had no ego. That meant I had already gone through the ego death, which is vital. So there's things that your guide will scan you for, and it's kind of it sets out a to-do list of things for your ascension, for your activation. So you will probably have heard other people talk about doing your shadow work and having your dark night of the soul, to come to terms with having an ego death. So to expand on that slightly, because it is a lot of information, I'm completely unscripted here, but I'm just speaking from my own experience. A lot of my shadow work and my ego was destroyed and dismantled and come to terms with over the last few years, because I had one of my children estranged from me. They decided to not speak to me over 3D choices. And so I went through that. At the same time, I was going through being a bedside nurse in COVID ICUs, and then left that. And I was still in the ER for a while, and then I left that. And what I realized was I was slowly stepping away from the matrix and slowly stepping out of the things that did not feel good for my soul. I was recognizing that things I had put a lot of energy into were not in my highest and best good. So over the course of the last few years, I've been doing that work. So if you're kind of new to the realization that some of your choices in life have not been for your greatest good, they could have been contributing to a negative situation. Like for me, although I was in a healing profession and in my heart, I only ever wanted to help people, I ultimately ended up being a part of a huge global problem that I really won't go into right now, but you guys know what I'm talking about. And so my soul was very uncomfortable with that. And because I recognized that and removed myself from that situation, that changed in me. There's emotional trauma. There's physical trauma that causes emotional trauma. And those are the things that create shadows. And that's the shadow work. And so a lot of times when we just go through life on this 3D gangster planet, you develop a shadow and you develop a lot of other things that are blocking you from ascending. It ends up being blocks to improving yourself. And so you have to cause friction. You have to turn around and say, what can I do better? Why does that upset me so much? Why does that make me feel sick? Like I've done this, before. Why is it a problem? When you acknowledge the problem and then you sincerely have the will and the want to do better, then you're healed. It takes a lot of work to get there, though. Like that's the alchemy that occurs within our soul, is getting down to where that actual problem has been shoved away. A lot of times in this 3D planet, we feel like because we've packaged up our pain and put it on the shelf and moved on down the road, then we're past it. Well, that's just geography. That's not alchemy. You need to get back in the box and unpack all that pain and come to terms with why it's painful. What is the root of that hurt? What is it that makes you develop that scar tissue over it? And then when you're done with that, as soon as you do that work, that lead turns to gold and you find the good stuff. And then that embodies in you. And gold is a very high vibration. And gold increases your vibrations and it increases your consciousness. So you do that, you unpack all those boxes, which is exactly what I did over the last few years. And next thing you know, you're in a much better heart space, a much better head space, a much better overall even keeled. And so being prepared for activation, if you're a starseed, that's vital. Being prepared for ascension as a human, that's also vital. It works for everyone because we all go through things and we all deal with them a different way. But that pain gets stored in our energy, in our flow, and it will block the flow to ascension. So I hope that helped answer some questions. Let's see. My guide has been vital in understanding the transformation. My 3D body actually started, my earthly body actually started changing the last 8 or 9 months as I was doing that work, completing that work, and really, really feeling no ego. I had no judgment. I have no judgment. That is not my place. I don't give airtime to negativity. I don't participate in any of that. And so as your frequency is higher, as your energy is higher, you will see that you kind of repel the negative things. You know, they're not comfortable being in your aura. They're not comfortable being near your light body because you are so positive and you're at such a high vibration. They don't like that. And so it's been very good. You know, some people have just kind of fallen out of my timeline, and I'm okay with that, because the people and that are in my timeline are good for me, and they're good for my mission. So that brings up frequency. Since my last video, and prior to my last video, just me in general, I have put myself out there, and part of my mission is to educate and spread compassion and spread inclusion. And this is not a big scary thing. Like, this is reality. This is happening. This is happening whether you accept it as your reality or not. It's happening all over the world. Okay. So I didn't want this to be a big scary thing. It's not anything scary for me. And I'm going through it. Okay. A lot of negative things were found that had been cast upon me by negative people, negative beings, and those things have been removed. I've never been more calm and at peace. And I certainly had a good measure of that before Sunday, but I have even more now. But my frequency is attracting like-hearted and like-frequencied beings. That being said, I have connected with several people who are Arcturian and who are actually even on my ship. They are part of my crew, and that is part of my mission. And it's happening just because I'm here, and I'm activated and I'm available and I am showing myself. And we do have a home and we do have a mission, and that mission is to help Earth 2.0. So if any of this that I spoke about today, Starseed, Lightworker, any of that stuff resonated with you, please go to the Ascension glossary, look things up, private message me. You can find me on Telegram. You can, in Healing Disclosures, I have a channel there. Also, my links will be down in the description box of this video. You can put comments there. This is a safe space. If anybody starts to be harassed or any of that, then those spreading the negativity will be removed. Okay, so I hope that this message finds you well, and I look forward to hearing from you. And I just want everyone to know that the best is absolutely yet to come. And I will be here with you for the long haul. So you guys have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you next time.